Welcome to the Emerald Planet as we come to you from Washington, D.C. in the United States as we look around the globe in 144 different nations looking for those 1,000 best practices and the technologies, products, and services that are being used as we move through the 21st century. And we'd like to thank you for being with us. And also, I think we were just showing Jim Girardi, our former colleague who passed recently, and may he rest in peace. And he was a wonderful guy and with us for almost 6 years. But we have with us in the studio who has survived a very intense time in Tanzania, and I know that for sure because I was with you for all that whole time. This is Jessica Kamala-Mushala, the founder and president of SHINA Inc. of Lanham, Maryland, USA, and Dar es Salaam in Tanzania. And welcome to the studio.
Thank you for having me.
We brought you all the way from Tanzania here by live TV, and now you're here in the studio, so welcome. Glad to have you.
Samahana.
You did a fantastic job when we were traveling in Tanzania, but tell us a little bit about SHINA Inc. and what does the acronym stand for?
SHINA Inc. is a Swahili word, but the acronym of it is S. It stands for Send, Hope, Inspire, and Nourish, utilizing accumulated knowledge and skills. We named our organization that name thinking a thick, strong tree trunk with deep-rooted foundation to make sure the message as we communicate in our parables, it implies the organization is here to stay, to help people.
Well, looking at what is a nonprofit organization, because that's what you are, and then what have you learned as far as best practices from managing such a nonprofit? But you have straddling the oceans, so working in the United States and working in Tanzania, there must be some very interesting and different perspectives that you have.
What is non-for-profit? We debated about it a little bit, but non-profit is an organization which is run by using and supported by other organizations' funds. So we do the work, but that work is supported by other people's money.
And looking at that whole thing as far as getting people involved, what do you have to do to be a nonprofit?
You really have to dedicate and give your time a lot. You have to be committed and invest yourself in understanding the people you are serving.
Well, I think this is one of the things that really sets you apart, but when you look at your nonprofit, what really does have SHINA Inc. standing by itself?
SHINA Inc. stands by itself mainly because of the volunteers. The volunteers who are committed and understands the need of their community. The volunteers who want a hand up, someone to help them, not just a hand down where you make them dependent. And once you get that, then it's easily, you can easily touch people's lives in a way that they become responsible, transparent, accountable for whatever help they're receiving from SHINA Inc.
You know, this is something I find absolutely amazing because you're in a country which is what they consider emerging market economy. And so people are transitioning from, you know, a lot of subsistence and other kinds of things into a real market economy. But yet, the people that you're engaged with truly are volunteers, and they're giving huge chunks of their time. How do you identify and find people that are willing to be that committed to their communities and do it, in essence, for free?
Amazingly, SHINA as an organization, we don't go out looking for people to volunteer. We've been blessed for people to look for us. Because of the work we have done, they found us. And if someone is willing and searches that out and asking for help, that means they're committed and they know the need for their community. As a result, we have been able to open different branches, but also we have closed some if they don't follow what we consider our ethics. And the key is how much can you help your people or your community if you're not willing to put your own time. It's not about give me, it's about what we can do together. And that has helped to identify those who have the passion for their community.
That's fantastic, and also that really relates directly to your mission and the goals and objectives that you have for that. And you serve a very diverse community, and I'm using that as a singular because the nation of Tanzania, but it's a very diverse society. We went from Pemba and Zanzibar, you know, and then into the mainland as far as the main area as far as Tanzania. What is some of that? How is that diversity reflected in society, and how does SHINA go across all these different socioeconomic, religious, and educational backgrounds?
We go across by understanding the people you're serving. And maybe that's an understatement. I should say understanding the culture, engaging the intergender projects, making sure that people understand you're not there to tell them what to do, but to see what they do and encourage them to do it better, or best practices. If I take an example of Zanzibar, which combines Unguja and Pemba, they are mainly 99.9% Muslim. I'm a Christian from the mainland. So what makes me unique or makes our organization so successful is us stepping back and actually giving seminar to the elders and community leaders.
I see.
So they understand the importance of empowering a woman or girl child education or improving the economic welfare so that as a community they can move up together. That has worked tremendously by understanding what makes them tick.
Well, and I think this is actually, I'm glad you brought that up, because we have the scene here we visited, and I just thought this was absolutely phenomenal, where you're actually working with the ladies, and we're looking here with the solar panels and the water distribution system.
Yeah.
3 acres of land, I believe we converted that out of the hectares. And you just tell us about this as a success story, because this is an incredibly powerful story.
Oh yeah, let's go back to 2007. When we visited Pemba the first time, we were invited by one of the young guy named David. And when we went there, the women, they had no support system at all. The community was not really receiving any help. So we encouraged their husbands to allow their wives to form a cluster groups of women. That particular project we visited this time is a success because it was the first time which we gave them well, like around $500. And out of that well, they were able to do the irrigation and did the vegetable gardens. They were able to feed their people, and then the remaining one they sell. Now you turn that into cash. And through all that, they have created and paid it forward by supporting other groups. As a result, you are able to see that now they have power panels, solar energy, and they can do even better. Irrigation, they can have vegetables around months, different seasons. I think for me, I see more health community. I see more independent financially. I see them being able to buy themselves, pay school fees, buy clothing. The support we gave them in 2007 has been a foundation where they are today.
Yeah, and I want us to go to this scene right here, because these are actually some of the gardens that we walk through.
Yes.
That are being irrigated out of this well that you were talking about. And then this is actually the lunch that the ladies provided for the whole team that was there, and you said when you first went there, this would probably have never happened.
Oh yeah, that would have been very, very difficult. Number one, the comfortability of welcoming foreigners, because they felt people are coming there to change them. But our approach is we are there to help you do certain things in a best practices way. We are there to help you make sure you can kind of be a little bit modern and help your children to be able to cope and be productive members of the society.
And also to be willing to show hospitality to many others. It was just a very telling experience. I have this up here. I know this is something that you've been involved in. You work with the communities as far as helping schools and health centers and these kinds of structures to be built in the communities. Tell us a little bit about that, and how does that actually help to support success of the various projects that you're working on?
If I refer to the slide you have up right now, we're going to talk about the volunteerism. What makes us so unique is that we offer the volunteers and donors an opportunity to visit the projects we are working on in Tanzania and other countries. And this is one of the projects which a volunteer, I think we went together in 2013, and she felt this group of women who are doing art crafts and painting, they did not have enough fresh air. And through our own initiatives, she came back. She was able to fundraise money and specifically help them to have this particular area. Now they can paint in a more healthier environment. Yeah. It's one of example of the power of involving your donors.
Now this, I believe this is Dadi, this gentleman here that's helping as far as distribution of the mosquito blankets. Tell us a little bit of his story and the work that he's doing in Pemba, Zanzibar, but also he's working with you on the mainland as well.
Wow, Dadi is one of that unique case, I could say. He was one of the youth or young man who was willing to support the empowerment of women in that particular community. And of course, by doing that, he faced a lot of challenges and a lot of maybe misunderstanding from different people who did not understand why he's trying to empower women. Single-handedly, he identified the special needs children. We're supporting 55 disabled children. We are building the center. He brought the water there, the electricity. He's just so good that he was able to represent Zanzibar into African Union, a young conference in Ghana, even though he does not speak English. So we are so proud that his work speaks for itself, but he has a passion for his people to receive what we are able to offer.
Well, when we're always together, we never have enough time to chat. So,
yes.
And this is absolutely a fantastic photograph. But I'm going to go out on this one. This is the ladies that you've helped and worked with over the years. But in about 20 seconds, what do you see for the growth and expansion of SHINA Inc. over the next 5, 10, 15 years?
I see more involvement of volunteers. I see trainees training others. I see people being more independent and touching more lives.
Absolutely fantastic. This is Jessica Kamala-Mushala. She is the founder and president of SHINA Inc., land of Maryland, and also of Dar es Salaam and all of Tanzania, I should say. And thank you for being with us, and thank you for sharing these fantastic images and also what you're doing there. I just applaud you, and thank you for being with us as we create the Emerald Planet.